Mbaniza ku Brand Dialogues. Mu episode eno tugenda maaso ne parenting diaspora. Emabegako twalina Mama Rose n'atunyonnyola engeri yakikolamu phone parenting n'ebintu ebyenjawulo. Mu kunnyonnyola ekyo yayogera ku baana be. So olwaleero n'ensalawo ne ngamba nti ku baana be kanfuneyo omu atunnyonnyole nga bwe kyali. Kati twalina eyakolanga phone parenting, kati tulina gwe baakolako phone parenting. So twogeremu tulabe kiwulika kitya. Omanyi buli w'oyogera ng'owuliriza sayidi emu tosobola kutegeera sayidi ndala weewulira. So leero tuli mu kufuna sayidi endala eya phone parenting yali a receiving, akatugenze ku receiving end. Nja kukujukiza ku subscribinga nga bulijjo nkugamba nti okusubscribinga tolina kyovaako, ogisharinga ekyo nze kyekinkolera, okugirayikinga ebyo bikolera YouTube algorithm, wadde nga nange nsobola okutegeera nti no abantu namba bweti bwe bagyagadde. Kusubscribinga ekyo nakyo kinkolera. Kale kwegamba David, welcome to Brand Dialogues. And I appreciate the time and allowing to come and talk to me. I'm sure this experience is going to be very, very educative. Before we start, who is David?
David, in a nutshell, well, David is someone who grew up in Uganda, partly. I originate from a nice little town called Kanyanya.
Oliwe Kanyanya. Okay.
Karelwe, you know, the whole
Mpelwe,
yeah, the whole gist of it. And honestly, I loved it. You know, I'm a son to a great mother. Most of you guys know her, Rose Sajjabi.
Our Senga.
Senga Rose Sajjabi. They call her. She has plenty of names. Mama Rose.
Yeah.
Senga Rose. She is an amazing mother. She is courageous. And in a nutshell, I am one of 9 that she raised. So I'm just somewhere there in the middle, you know. I don't have responsibilities of the first. I don't have responsibilities of the last one. Just somewhere there in the middle.
The last ones never have responsibility.
Yeah, but they change you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They're there to mess up everything.
Exactly. And an amazing father. Unfortunately, he passed when I was younger. Youth of Chitio. And for those who don't know, my last name is Kimuli, meaning I'm from the clan of Fumbe.
Oliwa Fumbe.
Fumbe clan, usually we go move in groups, you know. we notice each other everywhere we go. Very strange. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's who I am.
Your dad passed away when you were still young. Your mom talked about it when she was here. How young were you?
I was around 9, 10.
Oh, you got to spend some time with him.
I did. Now, the youngest one, my little sister, she doesn't remember him that much. But I remember him mainly because he really, 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 really spoiled her. You get what I mean?
Spoiled who?
The little one.
And she's the one who doesn't remember?
Oh my goodness. Like every time he will talk to the rest of us, blah, blah, blah. Matter of fact, me and her were probably, she was spoiled 1A, I was spoiled 1B by him. You know what I mean? So, and the rest of the boys were like, hey, you're too old, you know. But he was like, the memories I have of him are very amazing. Like I don't. A lot of people have say, "Oh, my dad was Tata Wange Yadi Mokambwe," you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
All the memories I have of him, and when you're a child, those memories are there. It's
Yes.
not like they disappear
No,
that quick.
no.
Exactly.
They're buried somewhere, but as you grow, they keep on popping out one by
Exactly.
one. Yeah.
Exactly. I remember one time. He. Because my family is a family of mathematicians, in a sense that the eldest is an architect. The next ones I also like, they have accounting, finance, bankers. You know what I mean? So my dad himself, I'm guessing this is where we got it from. He was a banker, and then he turned into a after that he turned into a college professor in what? Accounting and mathematics. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
through the whole lineage, all the way, even my girls do not. The girls do not like math in general.
Yeah.
I don't know why,
Yeah.
but even my little sister, she did math. She does math without trying. So when she actually tries, she's good at it, right? Which everybody gets to that stage where
Yeah.
you have to actually start trying.
Yeah.
So one time I remember, like, I you know how kids are. I don't care. This time I'm not gonna do well on the classes, whatever. We came from boarding school, and my dad is looking at everybody's tests. He's in the sitting room looking at everybody's tests. And I'm like, okay. And he never gave praises, by the way. You know how Ugandan dads are.
Yeah.
Just okay.
You can do better.
Yeah.
Even if you got 100, you can
Exactly.
do better
You could have
than
gotten 101.
Yeah.
But one day, again, this is what I mean by childhood memories. One day, he looks at my test, and I don't remember how grades work in Uganda, but let's say I got a B minus instead of a. He looked at the math test, and he looked at me, right, and my dad was a man of few words,
Mm.
and he looked at me and he just gave me that look of what happened, right, and he didn't say anything else. He just looked at me like this, and he put my report card down, and he grabbed another one's report card. The reason why that was essential to me, because you can, I get it, people can talk, blah blah blah, but disappointing parents at
Okay.
that age,
Yeah.
and if a child can understand what that means, like, I don't want to disappoint my parent, right?
Yeah.
And not in a disappointment that they're going to bakina kunkuba chiboko, because I know
Mm.
you can't say beating. Beating is a bad word here. Just so people say, you cannot say you beating your child. That's a
Mm.
terrible word. But what do you call it? Spanking.
Spank.
Yeah. Like, if someone's going, you're not. If children can differentiate between I've disappointed you, and I'm gonna get spanked,
Mm.
and I've disappointed you, like
Oh, yeah.
like this is an emotional side of thing. Ever since that day, I told myself, if I ever get anything less than an A minus in math, any other class, whatever, but in math, till this day, I can still tell you till this day. Did I get down to the A minus because the course was hard? Sure, but
Not.
because of that memory, because of that moment. That's the significance of how, like, my dad was to me.
And at that time, you were like,
Like
see,
7, 8.
which is probably like what, P6, P5?
Yeah. And I'm like, and I still, to this day, I remember the look on his face. And you're not gonna tell anybody, and kids slack off. Sometimes when my friends were slacking off, they'll be like, "Why aren't you slacking off with us?" And I can't tell them.
Like, I can't disappoint my dad.
Exactly.
Like that. You guys, I know what you're going to do.
Exactly. So especially in math was just, we are a family of mathematicians in general.
You see, with math, you have to be a family of mathematicians. If you're not, it's very hard for one to pop out.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
very hard. When everyone else is not,
Yeah.
who is going to help you? It starts here, first of all. If people say math is hard,
Mm.
well, it is, but there are some
Yeah.
people who do it,
Yeah.
right?
And I think when it comes to math, it's about the actual like if you like fixing things in general, like for example, the shelf, right? If this shelf did not come like this,
No.
someone put it together.
Yeah.
If you actually like putting things together, I promise you, you give math a chance. If you anything, if you see a specific pavement and you're like, oh, maybe we can do something with this, whatever your imagination can be, I promise you, you probably were good at math when you were younger, but you just had nobody to push you into that direction, because that's what math is, just solving things, just solving. People always say, oh, I'll never use x plus y in real life. You actually use it every day and you don't realize. This mic comes from math, the angles, so so yeah.
You just solved how people should see math.
There you go.
No pun intended.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so we're just trying to warm up.
Right.
Set the temperature. But did you watch the debate?
I did. The debate between the kids
and the parents.
I did.
On which side okay. Before we even get there, because I want to ask, on which side are you on? Let's first try to know which side you're on after the debate. Let's first try to know which side you're on before the debate. Like, where did you grow up?
Okay, so a little bit about my mom gave away a little bit of my life.
Yeah.
But around age, I think 12, 13, we flew here. We came here. So 12, 13 years of my life, 13, 14 years of my life, right? I was in Uganda. Our upbringing was not, we were not on the rich side of Uganda, but we were not on the poor side of Uganda either.
Okay. Your mom was here sending money back home. I don't think you would call yourself on the
poor side of So but we still, and she also sent us to good schools, like not exceptional schools, but good schools. Matter of fact, the youngest one actually went to an international school. And the international school at that age, we had to work to get to that level, but she gave us a flexible and easy life. But again, we were still in Uganda, so mainly because we had faith behind us as well. Our upbringing was not dangerous. We still had situations where we were like, it doesn't matter what kid you put in boarding school, there'll be a chance that he might escape from boarding school to go home. My main reason, I wanted to go back home because I was sick and tired of eating posho. I just wanted to have some matoke. Every time I would escape, I wouldn't escape on a Monday, Tuesday. No, I would escape on a
Friday.
Spend
the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Chance of having matoke is high.
Exactly. We don't have matoke Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. So that was other kids were probably escaping to, going to hang out with like the young little girlfriend,
watch movies.
Watch movies, all of that. We'll get to that as well. But my main focus was, I'm eating posho, beans, and vinyebwa.
I need to change a meal, otherwise.
Exactly. I'm going to go insane. I'm not in prison. And by the way, those schools actually would also feed us exotic foods on the weekends, right? But because you've gone through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you're like,
you don't see any light.
Yeah, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And if you look at me, I'm not a skinny guy. I need some matoke in me, Yeah. So anyways, so she on that side of the things, like she sent us to boarding school, and when I tell you, like, I was around different type of characters, boarding school teaches kids to be around different type of characters.
Yeah.
I was around plenty of different type of characters. Some good, some bad, some middle, some I didn't care about. But also, we also had international students with us, which also changed my perspective of how things are. One of my best friends was from Kenya, right? And at that time, I don't know how it is now, but at that time, to have a friend who's that close, usually the Kenyans would hang out with the Kenyans,
Yeah.
the Tanzanians with the Tanzanians, right?
Of course.
But me and him became so close that I got other Kenyan friends and other Tanzanian friends, right? Because matter of fact, it got to a point where some kids in boarding school thought I was Kenyan, right? But all that comes from how you're brought up.
You were that cool boy everyone was liking.
See, senior one maybe not. But senior two, I was cool. I was cool.
I remember we were told senior two is the
one
to watch out for.
Yeah. So that's when the coolness began. But the point is, like, even out of all of that, I still because of how my mom raised us, the humbleness never escaped. It's still in there. Till this day, the humbleness is still in there, because the things that she taught us as kids, well, you have to be careful what you tell kids, because those things stick in their heads for a lifetime, So her bringing me up the way she brought us up, first of all, if she was part of the war, she probably would have been a major general, because she was that strict, She was that good. But she also still showed us humbleness and humility. We did not I didn't get that from boarding school, But when I got there, I could see different characters. Right. And for some reason, I don't know how my mom did it. She made me realize what the difference between right and wrong. At a young age. Faith plays a big part of it, right? Because without faith, you don't have anything to lay on. You don't have a foundation. So being locally with some of your uncles being pastors, that upbringing of how she implemented church in us. By the time she let us go, because as a young child, they don't let you into the world yet. They just let you visit the world by going to boarding school. It's just a visit. Like, this is what the world might look like. By the time she was okay with us being there, she was like, I kind of trust my children to do what's right. Did we do what's right all the time? Of course not. We're kids, right? But when it came to this is right, this is wrong,
you knew what was wrong.
We knew exactly. And so many kids did not. So many,
I have a feeling kids know what's wrong and what's right. They decide not to do what's wrong, what's right. That's true. They'll be like, nah. No one is here to. No one is here to get kept. So I'm just gonna roll with this one.
Right.
If and have fun while doing it.
Right. And have fun while doing it. But
you could choose.
I could at that time. I could choose, and I could see the significance of what I'm doing. You know, because sometimes when you're kids, you don't know the significance. You don't know what level. You know. You don't know, like, if I jump off this ledge, I might hurt myself. I'll be okay tomorrow, but you don't know how that might be. You're going to the hospital now. They're paying for hospital bills, But at that time, she had a structure for us, right? So when my dad passed, right, she wasn't actually in Uganda at the time. She was here trying to get us to come here.
She was here.
She was doing the whole, how parents are. You from Uganda nowadays, you call the kid at home. That was her
phone
version.
Parenting.
There you go.
We call it phone parenting.
Yeah, there you go. And I remember my dad died. I used to be a crybaby, right? every time my mom will visit us when we were younger, and visitation day, if she's leaving, I'm crying, right? I'm crying, crying, crying. I don't know, maybe when my dad died. I don't know when my dad died. I did cry. I did cry for my dad. Obviously, I felt bad. I did cry for my dad. But after that, like, it seemed like I told myself, you know what? Crying is okay, but let's see if we can figure this thing out called life with my family. Because
Okay.
I have a huge, I call them my teammates. My family are like my teammates,
Yeah.
right? And they pick you up when you're down.
Your mom said you're 9 kids.
Yeah, it's 9 of us, and I'm not. Some adopted, some cousins, but if you had told me that they were not my brothers and sisters, I wouldn't believe you as a child because we did everything together. If today we're eating matoke, they're eating matoke as well. You know what I mean? There was no there was no tension between any of us, amongst any of us. That is because of my mom. I'm not gonna lie. That's because of my mom. How many families do you see where the mom's like, I'm only gonna take care of my kids? You figure out how you take care of those kids. How many families do we see and they just split up so many times? With my mom, you couldn't even tell. If we went to an event together, people will probably look at us and be like, "Oh, those are all her kids." You couldn't tell. That's the beauty of that's the beauty. I'm so grateful and so thankful for her because even as an adult, the things that she kept away from us, and you learn later on as an adult, I start thinking to myself, would I have done that? Would I have taken on that responsibility?
You know what I've learned is when you grow up, you look at what your parents did, and then as you were a kid, you probably reject everything they try to teach you,
Oh.
right? And as you grow up and then become independent, somehow you start appreciating what they were doing,
100%.
right? But when you have kids of your own, now on top of the appreciation you have for them, you start understanding why why we're doing what they did. Because you have now kids of your own, you're about to start doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So now you're like, okay,
Yeah.
now I
Now I understand
understand.
why this was happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you earn a different type of appreciation when you get older. We didn't know where the money was coming from, right? We would go to school and we'll see our friends wearing like this new style of jeans, and we'll go home and say, "Mom, I want that new style of jeans," and she'll be like, "Maybe not that one. Let's go to a window, figure out something else," but at the end of the day,
You have something.
there was something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something. So
it may not be that
it might not be that, but
you're coming up with something.
yeah. And once you grow up, you understand that even just shopping for yourself. How many times do you go and shop for yourself and you see nice clothes and you try on a jacket and you're like, ooh, this one feels good. And then you look at the price and you're like, not for me. You know what I mean? You put it back. You know what I mean? How many times have we done that?
Might be like, it feels good, but the pocket says otherwise.
This might take my whole wallet. No, not today. maybe in a couple of years if you're still there, but not today. It's the same exact thing that with with the appreciation that you need to have. But bringing it back, so around again, she got us through this whole ordeal around 12, 13. That's right, 13, 14.
You came to the US.
Came to the US. And I remember the last day I was coming because she could only bring the three of us because we were still underage.
Okay.
And I remember the last day, the very last day, I was talking to one of my brothers, like one of my big brothers, who was also one of my mentors till this day. Shout out Kawesa. Uh, till this day, like I really appreciate him. And I was talking to him, I was so angry. I was like, why am I not going with my brothers? You know, I was like, why is it just the three of us? Most kids are like, yeah, we're going to America.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, why not my brothers? Why not my big sisters? You know,
Right.
why? Like, I want. So I'm talking to him, and I'm like, when I get there, I promise you, I'm going to work for 4 months, and then we're gonna come up with money and bring you guys too. He looked at me and he sat me down, and he's like,
Who did that?
this is my big one of my big brothers.
Okay.
my mentor, one of my Kawes. And he looked at me, he sat me down, and he's like, that's that you will learn slowly what life is about, but I promise you, we are 100% happy that you guys are going to America. One day maybe you'll come and pick us up, but do you first. Live your life first. And then when you want to come visit, come visit. That we got to America in like what, 2005, 2006? I don't remember. I didn't get to see them again until 2017, 2018.
10 years later.
Exactly. And I'm like, I remember going back and visiting, and I'm like, oh my God. Who was that kid back in the day? And I remember looking, he was towering all over all of us, right? He's a tall guy, and he was all muscle back in the day. Like you couldn't find a little fat on him. When I got back to see him, and he's like normal size, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like I idolize this guy, and he's just my big brother, and he's my normal big brother now. And in my mind, I still idolize him, but he's still he's not. You know, he's not God level anymore. He's
Before he was like Superman.
exactly.
Figure, but now you've grown up, and now when you get there, it's just like when the houses we grew up in.
They used to be big,
high ceilings and everything. When you leave and then come back when you've grown up, be like,
really?
This door is shut. Is this the normal size door? Did you change anything?
We had a huge tree that we used to play on back in the day. When I went back to look at it, it looked like it was this small. I was like, what is going on?
Perspective.
Yeah, I know. Perspective. But so she brought us over, and so I growing up in Uganda, like I understand that life. You know, I understand the Ugandan life, especially as a child, and the way they treat you as a child. When we got here, honestly, to anybody that's listening to this who wants to experience it, nothing I can say, I can give you an idea, but nothing I can say can prepare you for the experience you get when you come here as a child. What I can say is, with my own children, I will pave a way for them. I will show them through my experiences, through everything. I will show them how life goes through in American schools. If you grew up your whole life in Uganda and you come here, first of all, whatever textbook you had of how
life is supposed
to be, put it to the side. Don't throw it away. Put it to the side. Grab a new textbook, blank textbook, and start learning new things. Because that is the difference between, that's a huge difference, a huge cultural difference between America and Uganda. Especially when it comes to children. When we got here, right, Mom was working like 3 jobs, you know, and she would still make it to church. I don't know how she did it, but she was working 3 jobs. And when we got here, remember, we're coming from Uganda where we have Auntie so-and-so, Uncle so-and-so over there.
Yes.
mommy neighbor,
Yeah.
don't go all the or to the other side of the hill. There's a witch doctor over there. You
Yeah.
know, you all the you have a community around you.
Yeah.
We come here, and my mom hadn't settled in yet really well. So, but my uncle had that. My uncle and my aunt were already here, so we were with them, and that was the nucleus of what we had. It was my mom, my uncle, my aunt, my cousins, and
You guys.
and us guys, right? So we were like, so we even went out. I remember the first day we went out to they just one of my cousins took us out for just a quick walk to the park, and I remember she was walking fast, and I'm like, where is she running to? What's going on?
I remember.
Right?
I remember. I remember. When my first time to come here. Thing is, I first went to DC, then New York,
Oh,
and New Yorkers
yeah.
walk really fast.
Yeah.
And I used to tell the guy, "Hey, you don't need to run. Why are you
Mm.
running?" Like, dude, I'm not running. Like, yes, you are. I am walking. So if you're leaving me,
Yeah.
you're not walking. I can see you're not in a running position like
Right.
the music, but you're not walking because I am.
Right. That's how we look. Now, try and go back right now. I promise you, the whole Uganda is moving on slow motion. I promise. But she I remember just thinking to myself, why is she walking fast? Everybody's walking fast around us, right?
Yeah.
It was just so different. And those are the type of things that they don't prepare you for. Right? And as a child, you're used to dragging your feet. And all of a sudden the cousin who knows how to go home is turning around the corner and you have to catch up to her and you don't know how to get back home. But it was like such a shock of how different it was because you're so used to one thing and then now it's this, and then they introduced us to that church community. That's why another thing, pastor, oh my god, how I don't know how appreciative I am of him as well. Like it's beyond, because he's another one of the mentors that I'm gonna say that word a lot because I'll bring it full circle. He's another one of those mentors that I had growing up, especially here. You know what I mean? So in Uganda, I had plenty of mentors. My big brothers, right? My big sisters, my aunties, my uncles. You know, even the dude across from the street selling butunda.
Yeah.
Even that guy. Every time I would come home, he would, hey, Dawdi, how's it going? Yeah, here you can have this. You know,
Yeah.
even that type of surrounding.
Yeah.
To come here where everything is me, I.
Right.
Oh my God, it was just different. Then we get to school. So we came in the summer, and school was starting in about 3 months. We landed in Chelsea. I don't know if you've been to Chelsea.
I've been to Chelsea. Yeah.
We landed in Chelsea, and at that time, Chelsea was third. Chelsea was third when it came to drug city, to the most drug polluted cities in. I don't know what number it is nowadays, but it was third.
They've improved.
Yeah. Okay.
Dramatically.
Okay. Good. At that time, we were number 3 in the whole.
That was you said that was 2006,
2007. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah. so that like when I like drugs, like weed, cocaine, whatever you can name it. I would say needles, like walking home or go to work or to school. Sorry. So I get to school and I'm like, and Chelsea is a very Hispanic populated.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I get to school and I see these kids kissing their parents goodbye, like, right? And I'm like, what is that about? And they see their friends and they kiss them. You know what I mean? Hi, so and so. And I'm like, what is going on? Okay, whatever. That's how they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking. I'm like, why am I not saying goodbye to my mother? Why am I not, not knowing
Mm.
she was doing an overnight shift. She's been on like her third job. She's coming home, showering real quick, and going to her third job. I'm like, all these kids have their parents dropping them off. Some of them they get off the bus. They get off the bus and they're like saying hello to them. And it's different. Like I was like, okay, I have my brother with me. My little sister at that time was not in the same school because she was a lot younger. I'll be fine. I get in class and the things that the things kids talk about in class here versus the things kids talk about in Uganda, completely different. Such a different class of what they talk about, how they interact with each other. So me being me, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna zip my mouth, do my work. I'll be fine. So then, I remember one of the first days we were introducing ourselves. So I got up and I was like, my name is David Kimuli. I am going to. I just came here from Uganda. Nice to meet everybody. I sat down. The chuckling started. Again.
You're like, whatever.
Exactly. I'm like, whatever. Well, I don't know what they're chuckling about, but whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody introduced themselves. Blah, blah, blah. We had a break before the next class, and one of the kids came up to me and was like, "So you're from Africa?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "How'd you get here? Did you swim?" Now, I'm very logical, right? Even as a young kid, I'm very, very logical.
Well, you're good at math, so I should.
Decent at math.
So I should expect that. Yeah.
So I'm very logical, and I'm looking at this kid telling me that I
You
swam
swam.
from Africa. And I'm like, first of all, swimming in a swimming pool itself, just one lap and then coming back, that's kind of difficult.
Mm-hmm.
How do you expect one kid to swim from not just Uganda? How did I get to the coast? How did things were going through my mind, and everybody laughed like everybody giggled. I'm like, okay, I'm like, whatever. So because I didn't understand what that type of bullying was.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, more bullying happened. That now that I'm integrated into the system, I understand what they're saying. But at that time, I don't know if you're insulting me and I don't know what the insult is. I'm not insulted, right?
Yeah.
Test results came in like a month later, right? Because it's whatever we have like either not the one before midterms, and had aced all my grades. And I'm looking around, and these kids, only one other kid had aced their grades, and that kid was shipped from Spain just this last summer. So I'm thinking to myself, first of all, in Uganda, the only grade that I was comfortable with was math. In this case, I faced everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, either I have to be the smartest kid on the planet, or these kids are really dumb. Excuse my language. So I'm thinking, man, what is going on with this place? Next thing you know, now the so-called kids who are bullying me are trying to befriend me. Why? Because during a test, they want to sit next to you so that they can cheat off your test.
Yeah.
Again, I'm new. I'm thinking maybe that's how this world works in America. Whatever. If they want to cheat off my test, I'll finish the answers, put my answer right here, work on the next one. But I'm not going to go and hand it over to them because I don't want to get in trouble. So I'm like, whatever. So life just weirdly evolved for me, right? Me personally, I don't know about my brother and my little sister, but for me personally, it evolved in a way where I was realizing step by step, like, not only am I on a different planet, but it's kind of a different world. Like, it's a completely different world.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Then came the end of the year. By the way, throughout the whole course of the year, if you took, I did not befriend a single American kid, not a single one. Like I cannot. Matter of fact, to this day, I don't remember befriending a single American friend in Chelsea. Let me land, like the British say. Let me land. The only friends I had were also immigrants,
Right.
like us.
Yeah.
Some of them from I had one from Namibia, one from Iran, like all over the globe. Again, which brings me back to, remember how I was before I befriended the Kenyans and the Tanzanians?
Yeah.
That wasn't, I'm still say that's not me. It's because of how I was raised. Because
Right.
I'm not going to look at you and ask you, how did you get here? Were you
Yeah.
swimming? You get what I mean?
Or did you hop on trees?
Exactly. Did you hop on? Exactly. I'm like, but anyways, we became friends, and obviously soccer was because that's all we knew, soccer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not realizing what opportunities are in America is we when we came here, and I don't blame my mom for this at all, because that's all she knew. All she knew was, listen, you just go to school, do your courses, graduate, go get a job or something, whatever it is.
That's the system.
That's the system. Not realizing that the knowledge that we have now, if we had it back then, again, everything happens for a reason, but if we had it back then, I think my mom would have chosen a different direction of not just, you can do the whole studying thing, but an addition of skills, in a sense that when I got there, all we knew was soccer.
Right.
Now, I actually played a little bit of basketball in Uganda, but that's because one of my big brothers knew how to just dribble the ball, and he showed me how to dribble it. He didn't show me how to shoot. He didn't show me how to do anything else. He didn't even tell me the rules. He just showed me how to
do the handles.
Exactly. I come here. Remember, kids have to go into gym class.
Yes.
It's mandatory.
Yes.
I come here, and these kids are dribbling like they're old men, one arm behind the back, and they bounce the ball. But remember that, bounce the ball. Exactly. And again, it's Chelsea. These are Hispanic kids. They're not really.
They don't really care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I see the basketball. I'm like, oh, I know how to do this. I do a quick move. One of the coaches was, because usually gym teachers are actually coaches of the sports.
Yeah.
One of my coaches sees me dribbling, and he's like, can you shoot real quick? Shoot the ball real quick. Remember, all I know is dribble. I shoot the ball. It goes all the way over there. And he's like, he goes away. Right? But I remember, the reason I remember this is because, like, I looked at him and I'm like, I might have disappointed an adult again. Because again, he didn't spank me. I just did something that disappointed him.
Yeah.
But again, I'm like, I'm still new. Who cares? Let me go play soccer with my Iranian and my other friends, whatever. Matter of fact, we even got on a team. My brother my older brother was a striker on the team. We got into the news, blah, blah, blah. Everything, we were happy, right? Like sports-wise, I was like, yeah. My mom then says, at the end of the summer, we're moving you to a different school. We're going to Cambridge, because she had gotten a better job, a stable job. So, and she got a house, and we're like, okay, we're moving to Cambridge.
Okay.
We're like, oh, so we won't be, so my Iranian, my buddies, my soccer buddies, we're not going to see them again. Right. I was like, yeah, you can come see them in the summertime, but not really.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're moving again. So we move, we move to Cambridge, and the part of Cambridge that we moved to.
Now, did she tell you that you're moving before school ended? Or was
no, it was after school ended.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you didn't even get a chance to say, hey, this could be the last time you see me.
To my soccer friends, we would play soccer during the summer.
During the summer.
Yeah, after like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. We would play
when the sun is, yeah.
Our house was here. The soccer place was. You know where KFC is, right?
I don't know. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, there's on what's that street? Is it Revere? There's a Chelsea High right there. It's a big field. Like
I think I know where that field is.
yeah. So our house was here. That field was there. You could just walk to the field.
Yeah.
Less than 7 minutes, and you're
Yeah.
there. So I tell myself, she tells us, and then we tell them when we were playing during the summer, like, yeah, we're not gonna be around anymore. And they were like, what? We signed up for a league. We wanted you guys to join. I'm like, sorry, this might be the last time, you know. So for them, we say goodbye to them.
Mm,
We go over to Cambridge, right? Cambridge is big,
it is.
right?
Yeah.
You could blink and you see Cambridge.
Mm.
The part of Cambridge we were taken to was, I think, number 2 gang related. Now,
Where is that? Because Cambridge is not actually known for that.
again, what year was this? 2000 and what? 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
So at that time, I've gone to Cambridge a bunch of times now.
Mm.
So much better. Everything, the roads, the houses, the buildings. We got put in the projects, right?
Mm.
And at that time, when I say we probably averaged 3 to 4 gunshots a month
Cambridge?
in Cambridge, in North Cambridge precisely. So
Okay.
we got North Cambridge, and then we got I think they call them Port. They were rival gangs, right? So you couldn't be on one side and you couldn't be on the other side. And that's where I also learned about gangs and gang violence. So, matter of fact, funny story. One of my aunts from here, she got me a birthday gift. Do you know what the birthday gift was? A bandana.
I was gonna say toy gun.
Nah, but even this, do you know why this is worse? It was a blue bandana.
One of the colors for the other guy.
Exactly. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm cool. I put on my bandana, right? My aunt just gave me this bandana. I go to school and one of the kids like, hey, listen, man, I'm not part of the gangs and all, but you need to be careful with what you wear. You better, because if the red side sees you, by the way, these are the Crips and Bloods, if anybody's asking. If the Crips who are red see you wearing blue, they're going to kill you without asking questions. If the Blue Crips see you wearing blue, they're going to ask you one question, and if you fail the question, they'll know that you're fake and they'll kill you anyway. So you're going to die anyway.
Oh man, that's. I'm glad I came late.
Exactly. And I'm like, I remember taking it because I really like that bandana. My favorite color is blue.
Mm.
So I really like that bandana too. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe I don't have to. I'm not gonna be wearing this. So, anyways, bringing it back. So then I'm developing slowly. Now I'm in a new school, and in this new school, it was a lot more diverse. Chelsea, like I said, mostly Hispanic kids.
Yeah, Cambridge
right?
is diverse.
Cambridge is so diverse. You can find any race.
Yeah.
You can find it in Cambridge.
Yeah.
And I went to the one school in Cambridge that was the most diverse school, which is Cambridge Ridge and Lyon. I love that. I love that school because it taught me so much. I go in there. Now remember,
It's like United Nations.
yes, exactly like United Nations. I go in there. Remember, in Chelsea, all I had was immigrant friends.
Yeah.
Now I see Black people, Hispanic people, white people, Asian people. This is where I became friends with pretty much all the races. I have Indian friends, white friends, Black friends, and I mean American, but and Asian friends. But all these friends that I have also have their own cultures and their own systems.
Right.
So that also made me learn more about what the outside world is through them. You cannot stick to just what you have in your bubble. You have to expand your horizon. So as a kid, I'm like, oh, so Indian food is this. Oh, Chinese food is this.
Oh, spicy.
Exactly. Versus me, I'm just used to my matoke, right? I remember going to we had a project, and one of my Asian friends, he was like, "Yeah, let's come to my house, and we can we can do this project together." It was like the 4 of us. We went to his house while we were doing the project. the mom made tea and brought us tea. In America, tea is not a thing.
Yeah.
Most Americans don't even know how to spell the word tea. She brought us tea, and that's when I realized that that's the customs that they have in Asia. They bring you tea.
Yeah.
You know, like they bring you like little cups of tea that
Yeah.
you
If
know
you're
what I mean?
visiting,
Exactly.
you must have some tea.
This, by the way, this was during the summer, and when it's hot in the summer, you're not drinking tea. And the way
For you, but for them,
exactly
they do in Dubai when
Ye-
very hot, but they're busy taking tea.
taking tea, and I'm like, so in the way they spoke to their parents.
Mm.
When I was again, I don't know why I'm not focusing mainly on Chelsea, but in Chelsea, I could see that the kids were the way they were speaking to their parents. I kept thinking to myself, if I ever said those words to my mother, she would put me on the first plane back to Kanyanya. You know what I mean? Not just Uganda,
Yeah.
Kanyanya. So I'm like, how are they? When I got to my Asian friend's house and the way he spoke to his mom, I was like, oh, there's a form of respect that they have in this. He's just not. So a different culture. They're not Ugandan,
Yeah.
but there's a form of respect there. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So then so again, I mean, I'm getting used to the whole thing, getting used to America. Then again, we're in gym class. Things happen in gym class, by the way, for kids, just so you know. We're in gym class. In gym class, you play all types of sports, right?
Mm.
So they were playing softball. Uh, uh, it's baseball, but with a bigger ball.
Yeah.
So you either hit or you throw.
Mm.
So everybody's in line, blah blah blah, and it's a big wiffle ball that you wiffle bat. It's a big bat. It's not a normal bat.
Yeah.
I get online, I get in line. Everybody's hitting the ball wherever, and they're running around, blah blah blah. I get in line. I get to my turn. First time I ever did this, I grabbed the ball. I grabbed the bat. The guy threw the kid threw the ball, and I hit it. And I didn't even hit it that hard. I hit it, and it went far. Who was watching? An actual coach, a baseball coach for the school.
Mm.
So he looked at me and he pulls me to the side. And he's like, "Have you ever played baseball?" And at that time, I hadn't played baseball. I don't know baseball because baseball is boring. To this day, I feel like baseball is boring. But I was like, no, I don't care much for baseball. He's like, "Who are you? Where are you from?" And when I told him I'm African, he's like, "Oh, it makes sense." And he's like, "You should try baseball one time." And I'm like, okay. So, by the way, when we moved to Cambridge, my uncle had a football, and
Mm.
we would throw a football around, right?
Mm.
And I was happy. I don't know how to throw I didn't know how to throw a football. Mine was going this way, but whatever. So then when we were in Cambridge, the soccer team was not on the same level as it was for the
For the
Chelsea
Chelsea
team
yeah.
because they're more Americanized than
Yeah.
Chelsea, which made sense. So I was like, I'm not gonna join the soccer team. Whatever. I'll find something to do. Long and behold, same gym class, uh, same coach because those coaches work do two different. They do multiple sports in coaching.
Yep.
Same coach comes up to we're playing something in gym, and this time it was football, but it was more flag football, just running around.
Mm.
Again, just like kids do. He saw me again. So this is the second time he caught he caught my eye, and he came up to me and was like, "So okay, so you don't want to try, baseball? What about football?" And I'm like, "Football? Because in my mind I'm only what soccer. That's it."
Yeah.
Anyways, at that time, that summer, I actually had practiced a lot of basketball as well.
Mm.
Again, in gym class, this time I can actually shoot a little bit.
Mm.
I still can dribble and I can shoot a little bit. Same coach comes up to me. He's like, "All right, dude, I don't care. You're trying something." And he's like, "Tryouts for football are this day, this time, blah, blah, blah." Gives me all the time and date. And I'm like, I don't have anything to do.
Mm.
I really love sports. right? And at that time, my uncle had also gotten me into understanding what football is, American football.
Right.
So
A rough version of rugby.
different, close, but not really. So I get to the field. I get to the field, and I'm in football. So football is very very militarized, right? Hierarchies and all.
Yeah.
And yelling and talking like in a military, like a new cadet is
It's normal.
it's normal,
Yeah.
right? I get there and they're like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Well, David Kimuli, coach. I'm like, say it louder. I'm David Kimuli. Coach told me to come try out. Go over there. Put on, grab your gear. Put on your cleats and go to the field. Hurry now." I'm like, man.
Like, dude, you don't have to shout. I'm right here. I'm
Right? I'm like, come on, man. Like, I just want to go home now. Like, I don't even want to do this. But I was like, matter of fact, I wanted to go home. I wanted to turn around. But there was 3 other kids behind me pushing me, so I might as well have gone. So I got into the room. I don't even know how to put on the whatchamacallit, the plates, the gear.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put on the knee brace. I don't know how to put on the I don't know how to strap up. I don't even know how to put the helmet on. Like, some people put the hell. You think it's just putting on the helmet. You have to adjust a few things this way, and then clap it so that if you fall, the helmet isn't flying away. I don't know how to do any of that. I sat down with all the gear. There was a kid next to me. We're all newbies. We've never done. He has done it before because I'm guessing here they teach them from their kids. He put it on so fast. Done. And he ran out. I'm like, okay. I only got that one part. I only got one part of this. I put on stuff. My pants are falling. I'm holding on to them because I don't know. I don't know any of this. My helmet is still in my hand. Luckily, that coach, the same coach, saw me before I walked out, and he's like, "Oh, you made it." He adjusted my strap. He showed me while adjusting. I was learning everything he was doing. I was learning. That was the only one and only time anybody ever adjusted my my equipment. So we off, right? I get onto the field. Newbie, it is hot. Again, the tryouts don't happen during the winter. They happen during the summer.
Yeah.
Because they're trying out to see which kids are going to be. And during the summer, they are teaching experienced players conditioning and plays.
Right.
So I'm standing there. I'm watching. You hold on to your pads right here because you don't want them to fall. So I'm just standing there. I'm just watching everybody go. I'm like, why am I even here? Like, people are yelling at each other. Whether they do something good or bad, they're yelling. I'm not used to all this. I like soccer where you just play the ball, Finally, I see coach talking because he's the assistant coach. I see him talking to the main coach, right? And I'm like, whatever. I hear my name. Because in football, they don't call you by your first name. They call you by
your last name, yeah.
Last name.
In sports, that's what
in sports in general, yeah.
Yeah.
And white people love saying Kimuli, not Chimuli.
Mm.
Kimuli, come here. I'm like, nah. What did I do now?
I was just standing here enjoying my.
Thank you. The breeze was starting. I'm like, oh. So I run over there. I'm like, yes. And it's like, all right, get down in a 3 technique and go for the ball. 3 technique is if you're on defense, you get down on one hand, knees are not touching, and you have to go up against an offensive lineman. The goal is to get onto the quarterback who has the ball. The guy who was in front of me was the most athletic guy on the whole team, and our team was good. Our team was actually really good. So, but I didn't know he was the most athletic guy on our team, like in that position.
How would you have known?
Exactly. Shout out to Buck, by the way. So I go up again. I go do a 3 technique, and I'm like, okay, this is the 3 technique because I watched a few football games with my uncle as well, so I kind of know what style. I get down and they say hike. So I'm not gonna lie, it was all instinct. I gave him a move. I spun off of him, and he whiffed. And I went through and I sacked the quarterback. When I tell you, Americans can hype you up, the whole field hyped me up. And when I say the whole field, I mean everybody. Even the quarterback I just sacked was celebrating. Because, and here's why. Because to them, during practice, they're not looking to beat you. They're looking to be better. They're trying to grow together.
Right.
So if they can find a diamond in the rough diamond, they're like, oh my God, the things we can do with this guy on the field as our teammate.
Yeah.
So now I'm wide-eyed. I'm like, what happened? Because to me, it was all instinct. I just moved one way, he moved the other way. Everything was slowed down. And that's how I got through. So now, the only person who was not happy for me was the guy I went up against. And he's like, do it again. He went down. Now he's serious. I guess he wasn't serious the first time. Now he's serious. And everybody now before, only like maybe 20 kids were watching.
Right. Now
everybody is around.
Yeah,
It's a huge circle.
Yeah. Beginner's luck.
Exactly. Matter of fact, everybody else in the line stop playing. They just I get down. And coach says, hike. And I do the same thing again. And this time we're even. Now, I'll tell you, when you're a rookie going up against a veteran, there's no even.
Yeah.
The veteran's winning 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And this time it was even. We went again and it was even. And we both locked even. Third time even. So then I'm like, again, I'm tired. I'm like, can we stop this? But everybody's still cheering on, like, oh my God. I look at my coach because I'm about to say I'm tired. And my coach is talking to the main coach, and the main coach is nodding his head like, yeah. So that's when I was like, oh, okay. I did not disappoint the elder this time. Yeah.
Okay.
I go home. I'm hurting, by the way, because the first day of the very first day of training camp, that's what we call it, is always the toughest one because you're not used to the conditioning, you're not used to the heat, you have to keep hydrating, blah blah blah. And when you're a kid, you don't know any of that. So I go home, my muscles hurt, everything hurts, and I go home, I'm dragging my feet. I get home and my mom is like, food's almost ready. You guys are. She asked me, she's like, why are you hurting? And I'm like, I tried out this football thing, blah blah blah. And she's like, one day and you look like right? So then I'm like, yeah. I didn't even eat that day. I just went showered and I went straight to. When I tell you training, first day of training,
Yeah.
So many kids quit after the first day. So many. Anyways, first day of training camp is done. Second day is tomorrow. One thing I have to encourage for all the parents out there, if something is tough on your kid and no one forces them to go back and try again,
they're quitting.
They're not quitting. Matter of fact, you should actually look into it even more because there might be a chance. Talent is fine, right? Ugandans, we actually have a lot of talent. Africans in general, we have a lot of talent because we grew up with our brains connecting to our feet with soccer.
Yeah.
I promise you, hand-eye coordination comes easy for people who have already been playing soccer for their life. Example for the NBA players who don't know, Joel Embiid. He did not start playing basketball until he was, I think, 18 or 17, 18. That was the first time he ever started playing basketball. He always played soccer. Now he's one of the best center forwards in the league. So anyways, the next day, by the way, just so you know, before anybody says anything, when I was home that first day, I said to myself, I'm not going back there whether they like it or not. You know what I mean? But for some reason, the following day, my body was fine. I went to just the filming because we had to watch film, blah blah blah, and then lift a little bit, and then they were like, all right, practice again. Practiced, came home. When I came home that day again after practice, my body was hurting, and I kept telling myself, oh my god, mom, I'm hurting, blah blah blah. That time I ate food, went to sleep. Next day, I was fine. So that's because the body is
adjusting.
It's not used to, like, we have science now to tell us all these things. By when you're young, your body is recovering even quicker.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you put me on a football field, yeah, I'll survive. I'll hit a few people. I'll go home.
You won't wake up.
I won't. 3 days. You know what I mean? But that's what I mean by, like, it takes it's especially if the kid goes back. It's not about what happened at the end of the day. It's what happened the next day. And if the kid is discouraged of going back, just encourage them a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot, because you're also testing the kid of, well, does this kid actually love this sport? And I'm not gonna lie, each practice I was there, I grew to love the sport. I grew to love football. Each practice, I was like, oh my god, I love this sport. Oh my god, I love this sport, because I was learning new things every day. Soccer, I knew everything about soccer. I was like, hey, the tactics that you use, 4-3-3, no, 5 this, no, oh, where's this keeper supposed to be on this? All that I knew. I was watching Premier League games. Football was new to me, and I was learning each day, and each day I was learning. Each position is different. There's different things for each position. So, out of all of that, right? Now the season starts. Again, I'm still a rookie. I'm not gonna get plenty of games.
Yeah.
But I was getting a few games here and there. One thing I noticed while I was there, because we played Fridays, right? Every Friday, kids would get there from school. Well, the bus drops us off into the locker rooms. We'll get dressed, go out to the games. Game was fine. People were cheering on. After the game, there was no buses taking you home. Your parents were the ones taking you home. What was lacking for me?
Your mom wasn't there.
Mom wasn't there to pick me up. I would just take the normal regular bus to go home or the train. She not being there, once you grow up, you understand, right? But her not being there just put a lot of emphasis on, why am I even doing this?
Yeah.
Right? Because as a kid, I'm looking at everybody. Remember in Chelsea, they kiss each other in the cheek, blah blah blah. Here, these kids, the dad is picking them up, like, good job, son. I saw you playing. That's when I realized, oh my god, these are the guys these are the fans cheering.
Right. Yeah.
It is not actual fans like going to a professional league. It's the parents who are cheering.
Yeah, they were in the seat. They're in the seats. So like, yeah, go David, go David, yeah, you got this.
Exactly. Every maybe third or fourth game, my uncle would show up at halftime, because he also had to finish his shift. My uncle would show up and cheer me on. And the days my uncle would show up, I wanted to play even more. I would be like, when are you coming next time? You know what I mean? But my mom not being there was mainly because of work. Yeah. Work is always number one reason, right? Work. And then the other one was because she saw me in training camp coming home, like, oh my god, everything hurts. She thinks I'm getting hurt out there. She doesn't want to see me get hurt. The one time I really got hurt was when I rolled my ankle. I didn't even fracture it. I just rolled it. Like, I rolled it, and then it took 3 days before I could get on the field again. She was like, what is going on? She you could see the panic in her. Me, I'm crying normal, right? Because it's pain. I'm like, this sucks. She is crying mentally. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I was like, whatever. Mom, I just need to nurse this. I need to put ice. Another thing, in America, they teach you how to treat your body. I played soccer so many times in Uganda. No one ever told me this is what happens when this happens. No one ever told me ice this. No one ever told me take an ice bath after a game. Those things build your muscle. They toughen your muscles up. in America they talk because they have a trainer,
Mm.
and the trainer teaches you everything. Even when I scrubbed my arm and it was like bleeding because I slid on turf and it was bleeding. It wasn't just the skin.
Mm-hmm. Just the skin. Okay.
It was bleeding, and I remember the trainer came up to me and she saw it and she's like, okay, this is not bad. She put whatever it was on it. She wrapped it around. I got home. My mom saw it. Oh, they're gonna kill my son. Take him off the field. So that was part of it. That's why she never showed up to. It was the second reason she never showed up to games. But when my uncle did, it was amazing. And I remember senior day. For any parent out there, senior days in sports is the most important day for a child because every parent is over there giving their child flowers and like ribbons and all that for senior day. Senior day is usually the last day, the last match of all seniors because you'll never play high school football ever again. I tell my uncle, you have to be there. All right? Uncle's like, all right, I'll see if I can get off early. I'll be there. All right? I'm like, okay. Because I knew if my mom was not going to be there anyways because,
You didn't even bother.
Yeah, well, I did, but she knew. She was like, I'm working, but I'll see if I can come with uncle, blah, blah, blah. We get there, right? So before the game is when they give you the flowers and everything. We get there, they're calling kids' names. I'm looking in the crowd. I don't see my uncle. So it was alphabetical order. So they're getting close to the K's. I don't see my uncle. They call my name. I go over there by myself. I was the only kid who walked on the field on senior day by myself.
That stuff.
I'm telling you.
That is.
Got my flowers. I walked off. Game started. Around like after the first quarter. I remember like I was actually having a bad first quarter. Now I didn't think it was because of the whole emotional side of it, but because I'm like, man, this guy in front of me, he's tough. Like I heard my uncle say my last name. No, sorry, not my last name. My African name, Daudi. I looked. This is the first quarter. I looked. I was like, oh, uncle is here. I waved at him. I went back to the game. From then on until the end of the game, I had a phenomenal game. It's not a coincidence.
No, it is not.
It is not a coincidence. It is such a vital thing to have somebody there, just cheering you on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because everybody, if it was just fans, I would have been fine. But these are parents.
Yeah.
Anyways,
be like, there is a reason why I'm playing.
Yeah.
Somebody who knows who I am.
Exactly. But at least he made it. At the end of the day, he did make it. And shout out to my uncle. He's one of my biggest mentors. He made it.
That's that situation that you went through that time reminds me of those times when VD in Uganda, when your parent doesn't show up, and doesn't communicate.
Exactly like that.
I never went in boarding schools, but I used to hear this.
Yes,
I used to hear this so much. Parents never used to show up.
And it's funny because I had one of my friends in boarding school. The dad just forgot to show up. He came the following week thinking that was V-Day. And it just didn't feel the same for him.
No.
Because every kid has their parents there last weekend. And the following weekend, it's just you and your little food. You know what I mean?
Doesn't make sense. So yeah, it's actually not the same. For parents could look the same.
Yeah.
Feel the same.
Yeah.
But it is. Kids, it's all about what the other kids are doing.
100%. That really, and I think that was the main reason why I didn't push to go into football in college, right? Because high school is high school, but in college there's so many other steps that you have to do, blah blah blah. Like the film that you had like which coaches are pushing you where, and then the politics side of it. So I was like, you know what, in college if I'm to go into football, if it happens, it happens.
Mm.
And it actually almost did happen because I ended up playing on a flag football team in college. Not the same thing because you're not hitting,
Yeah.
but I enjoy football in a nutshell.
She hinted on it in her
Mm,
the previous session that we had with her,
mm,
and she mentioned that on your graduation
mm.
she apologized.
She did. She did. And again, I had no idea why she was apologizing, right? Because I'm like, I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Like, what is she talking about? But once you grow, you understand what that actually meant back then.
Yeah.
And her apologizing at that time
Didn't mean anything.
didn't. I said sure, whatever. But to me, it didn't make any sense. Once I grew up, I was like, oh, it does make sense because she was such a vital. She's such a vital portion of my life that her not being there definitely hurt somehow.
Yeah.
You know.
You would have turned out different.
I now promise you. And the thing is, it's not just football. I even ended up trying out baseball with my buddies.
Mm.
Same thing. I like Africans in general. We are athletes.
Ziad mentioned that
We are
in the last.
exceptional athletes. Problem is, we're in such a bubble of soccer.
Mm.
Not realizing soccer has built our foundation ever since we were kids. You
Mm.
can go, you can even swim. It doesn't matter. You can be a ballerina. I don't care. It doesn't matter. We are such phenomenal athletes that if I see a kid right now on a basketball court who and he does one or two moves and I'm like, oh, and it dawns on me like there's something there.
Mm.
I'm not going to stop and just look away and be like, there's something there. I'm going to go over there and tell the kid, listen, there's something that you have that not all the kids have.
Yeah.
See if you can pursue it. Find out anybody that you know, any elder person that you know. Try to see if they can help you pursue it because there's something there. You know what I mean? Versus us, Azanya Kapita, okay. Even the ones, even even the ones who play soccer in Africa,
Mm.
we don't put a shine on them. We
Yeah.
don't push them when they're exceptional. And this is millions.
Yeah.
Because at least if you change your horizon, you could the numbers dwindle. But in Africa, there's millions and they're still exceptional in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who play soccer. So it's vital. It's vital to see like we cannot be in this little bubble. Anyways, I'm going off course on that one.
No, that no, you needed to say that.
Yeah.
So now that we know,
Mm.
so which side now? Did you watch? You mentioned you watched the debate.
I did.
What's your take on what the kids had to say?
So here's what I will say, right? The kids impressed me. They impressed me a lot because it kind of felt like that was their form of therapy in a way. Like they had something to say that was on their chest, right? And I am the definition of the middle line, right? I've witnessed growing up here. I grew up a little bit there.
Mm.
I've been treated like a Ugandan.
Mm.
I've been treated like an American, right? I've gotten both worlds. What I would say is there is no perfect way of parenting. None. You can. If there was a perfect way of parenting, someone would have written a book about it, and everybody's following the laws, like the laws of the Ten Commandments.
Right.
If there was a perfect Ten Commandment way of parenting, people will be doing that, right? Everything is different for every um, uh, generation, every culture. Everything is different. One thing I will tell the kids, right? Because right now the kids are young, and when you're a kid, I guess you know better, but you haven't really experienced this thing called life.
Mm.
Because let's be honest, life will. Anytime you think you're phenomenal, life will bring you back down to earth and just chew you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do we combat that? How do we prepare you for this thing called life? And to them, it might look like they're being punished for all this, the tiny, tiny things that they're doing, but they don't realize that how much impact it's going to have in the future. They don't realize that when they grow up, they are the ones who would have to turn to using the same systems that their dads use, that their grandmothers use, that their grandpa use. On the other hand, parents here have to also evolve. Best example is my mom, right? My mom, like I told you, if she fought in the war in Uganda, she would be a major general, right? Strict, tough. Why? Because she had to be both a mother and a father. Know that if you have to act as the mother and the father, it is, you have to put a strict face on at all times, right? If she says don't do this, chances are of you doing that is slim, because you know what the repercussions are.
Right.
On the other hand, when we came here, she had to adjust and evolve with the new culture, right? With a new way of parenting. She then, I'm not saying she was so soft and told us to do whatever we wanted, but she put it in a way where she grew with us. Because again, she doesn't have the knowledge. She didn't have the knowledge she had now back then. She grew with us every step of the way. So with her, she also evolved. So it wasn't more of, "Gwe, njakukuba, jangu wano." It was more of telling us what to look out for, explaining it, and if we were to get in trouble, she would still punish us, but tell us why we're being punished, right? So what I will say is, I leaned more towards the side of the parents, a little bit more towards the side of the parents, right? But I understood exactly what the kids were talking about every step of the way. Even with the faith, because everybody was bringing up scripture, right?
Yes.
Even with all this faith, spare the rod and spoil the child. You don't really know what that means until you have to spare the rod and spoil your child. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I can go say whatever I want about football, right? Yeah, if you want to play football, you do this, do that. But if I want to play football, what am I going to do? Am I going to do the same things? You don't know until you've gotten there. So for the kids, what I would say is, first of all, they did an amazing job. I'm surprised. Hopefully they didn't go home and get... But they did an amazing job. What I would say is, try to understand where your parents are coming from, right? How they how their parents developed them. Try to understand from... I know you're too young to understand that, but try, because later on you will understand that. It will come to you automatically. First, try to do that, and then parents, see if you can try and meet them a little bit closer to halfway. I know it's never going to be halfway, but a little bit closer to halfway, because all the kids want while they're developing is why.
Yeah.
Why am I being punished? Why is this happening? You know what I mean? Why can I not do this? Why can I not do that? Now, the reason why it works in Uganda, where you don't have to tell your kids why they're being punished, is because in Uganda it's a community. You have plenty of people everywhere. So if I'm the dad and I come home and I punish you and I don't tell you why,
your uncle will.
Your uncle will. Like, yeah, you can go cry to your uncle. Daddy beat me. He'll be like, yeah, daddy beat you because you did this and this and this. Listen, next time, do it like this. And we all have those uncles who help us actually be worse than we are, you know. And you know what? Next time, where you don't go that way, go this way. He won't catch you, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever. Then you in Uganda you learn slowly through other people. But here it's not like that. What do you have? You have church, you have your uncle or auntie, and your mom and dad and your siblings. Like, you don't have an actual community. Versus there, you have a wide array of community. You can even go to your village and there's another community there of people who are teaching you other things.
Right.
Here, and if you think about it, here, for example, my case, right? I go to school in Chelsea for the first time. I'm getting bullied. Who am I talking to? If I go home, my brother, he's also tired after doing homework. He falls asleep. My little sister, she doesn't even know what the world is yet. Okay? My uncle doing an overnight shift. My aunt cooking on the phone in Uganda. Nemugamba, blah, 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 blah. My mom, she's also doing an overnight shift. What am I doing? I'm not going to ask anybody else, oh, what does swimming from Uganda to here have to do with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
By the time the kids, when a kid grows up so Uganda, we do have bullying in Uganda.
We do, yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. Bullying here is exceptional. If bullying had PhD, these dudes would, oh my goodness. It is just amazing how they bully here. So you also have to grace these kids because you don't necessarily know what they're going through yet. And we were all kids. Yeah. We all I'll never forget. My mom used to tell me, you can play soccer. This is in Uganda. You can play soccer out, but make sure by 7 you're home.
You're home.
Now, with my friends, they would play until like 9, 10. Mm-hmm. What time do you think I was actually coming home?
Probably 11.
9, 10, 11.
Oh, yeah.
What happens when I come home?
You're spanked.
Right? I then came up with a plan because my mom spanked us. My mom spanked us, right? That we got used to it. Matter of fact, boarding, those dudes were professional spankers.
Yeah.
They put their hips into it, you know?
Yeah.
And you could hear the whip coming. The sounds before it even hit you.
Yeah.
You know?
They could even get special whips.
Exactly.
That inflict the most pain.
Exactly.
They could even treat these whips.
They knew.
They take off the back of the stick and then they like kind of put it on fire.
What?
On fire to make it like that's.
They were professionals.
From special trees.
Not just any tree.
Not just any tree. They'll be like, yeah, this tree.
I had one of my teachers who had a whole closet. The closet was right next to the board. Closet. You open the closet up and it's one stick after the other. Yeah. So you will go in depending on what size you were. You will pick that stick. But anyways, those were professionals. So when I came to mom's meetings were just meh. So I felt like, you know what? Last night I came home at 11. Mom's pissed. This time I'm going to wear what? 3 pants. No, not 3. But jeans inside, and then you okay with jeans, kids? You okay with just jeans? Not 3, no more than 3 pants. They'll catch you if you. So I go in, and obviously with my mom, once she hits you, you have to. Once she spanks you, you have to make the noise. Yeah. Like it hurts. Yeah. And this is how I knew that my mom actually loved me. Is even throughout all that anger while she was spanking me, I don't remember what noise I was doing. I was probably doing, I looked behind and my mom was holding in laughter. That's how I knew. That's when I'm like, oh, she's not spanking me out of hate. She actually loves me. Like that, somehow I connected the two dots. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I don't know. Then I started thinking, does everybody who's spanking in Uganda, I know some of them are out of hate, but does everybody actually hate you or are you just being bad? You know what I mean?
Mm.
So that kind of made me realize this spanking thing is actually, because we're kids, we're going to be bad
Yeah.
no matter what. No, our friends are doing this. We want to do it like our friends. You know what I mean? No one is a perfect kid, and even the perfect kids sometimes turn out later on in there. We all see those kids
Right.
in college, and you're like, oh, you were a perfect kid when you were growing up. That's what, yeah. So back to what I was saying, like it you have to grace the kids, but at the same time, the kids have to grace the parents as well.
Mm.
And the only reason why I lean a little bit towards the parents is because the kids haven't been through it yet. You be okay. There's plenty of like I said, my mom was tough, right? If you did something wrong, she wasn't going to smack you right there and then. By the time she smacks you, you've probably done it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So for the kids, if they do something bad and then the parents explain why that thing was done,
Mm.
and they say, listen, don't do that again because it has repercussions, and they do it again and again, and you're still explaining to them, by the time you're fifth, sixth time, like,
Yeah. You deserve it.
yeah, like you, even you as a kid, you know you deserve it,
Yeah.
but you have to know why.
Yeah.
You can't just smack, because nobody's going to tell the kid why he or she is being smacked, you know. And I do appreciate them coming out and trying to elaborate. Matter of fact, if I was on their side, I probably would have destroyed the parents. But I do appreciate it because I see where they're coming from.
Mm.
We all went through it, but I promise you, once you go past that line of you're not a child anymore, you will start picking out and pointing out which adults actually have went through repercussions. You will start figuring out mannerisms or manners. You will start going to like a restaurant with your family and you see somebody else, or even a restaurant with your friends, and you'll see which one of your friends is yelling at the waitress.
Yeah.
If I were to yell at the waitress right now, let's say I take my mom out for a birth and I yell at the waitress right now, she will probably spank me as an adult.
Yeah.
I haven't been spanked since I was like a little kid, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Because there's things that she she paves the way for you, right? It doesn't mean, because this was another argument that was saying, oh, they want you want us to live your life, but it's our lives. We have to live our lives as well. That's what the kids were saying. It's not about them wanting you to live their lives. They are paving a way and a foundation. What you do with that after you get into that foundation is up to you. All they care about is, what line can you not cross? What humility do you have? What humbleness do you have? That's all they care about. And then after that, whatever tree branch you grow is up to you. Whatever you want to do is up to you. But in the beginning, they just want that baseline
to establish that.
Exactly.
And start from there.
Exactly. And trust me, when we were kids, have you ever? All kids do this. Watoro kako from your house?
Definitely.
Yeah. Every kid thinks that they know better. I remember I back in the day, I escaped with 1,000 shillings. And 1,000 shillings back in the day got you far. I escaped because I took 500 too and 500 back. I came back because I got hungry. But point is,
imagine if you had escaped with 5,000, seen you in a month.
Exactly. I escaped. As a matter of fact, I took kameme, I escaped. I told myself, yeah, I don't care. I've been spanked so many times. I don't even remember why I was mad, but we all kids think that they know. Thinking back to it now, like when I was listening to the kids talk, I specifically told me, I kept in the beginning I was like, what are they talking about? They're kids, right? And then I was like, okay, take the kids thing away from them. Pretend they are grown-ups, right? I started looking at them as grown-ups, and I'm like, okay, the things they are saying some of them are, you can tell that they're grown up, but then there was a lot of things that were also saying, and I was like, you haven't experienced life. That's why you're saying this, right? And then on the other hand, the parents, what really threw me off about the parents was sometimes the parents did not treat them like kid, like that they were adults. They treated them like they're kids. And I'm like, okay, first of all, if you're going to hear them talk, hear the kids talk, but not listen to what the kids are saying, that's also on you. You have to open up your ears because you are who they are looking up to.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, kids are not going to go to school and say, my buddy Jim is he's my mentor. No, 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 no. You are who they're looking up to. Which mentors are big, big for kids. I'm telling you. My dad passed away when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
My mom's a single mom.
Mm.
So tell me why tell me why I'm not just walking around beating up people on the street. Tell me how I'm supposed to look like a well-dressed man. Tell me how I'm supposed I have my chest high, my chin up, you know? I'm not just slouching, I'm not doing this everywhere I go. Why? Because all my mentors, every time I did any of that, chin up. Keep your chest up. You know? If you're walking just from one place to the other, your aura means everything as a man. Walk like this. Do not walk dragging your feet. Do not walk doing this. You know?
Bouncing around.
Don't do the bouncing, because we all want to be cool, and we all did that, you know. We all want to, but the reason why that it's still implanted in my head is not because my mom sat me down and told me how to do all these things. No, because she was trying to be a mother too.
Yeah,
it's because of the mentors that she put around us. That's the key. Anything happens to anybody, right? You're a baby mama. Fine, the boyfriend left or the husband left. Fine. Who are you surrounding your kids with? Are you surrounding your kids with women who are going to say men are nothing? Are you surrounding your kids with men who are going to say women are nothing? You know, because it's always both sides.
yeah.
Or you're going to surround yourself with people who actually look at you and who treat your child as their own. And that's the key. Like I said, I have plenty of cousins, and in Uganda we all have those. The cousins that you're not even related to. I have Muslim cousins, plenty. My own sister is Muslim, that my mom adopted. You telling me that I look at her as my cousin or adopted sister? No,
She's your sister.
she got engaged recently to be married. I was there like is it the Moko? What is it?
Moko.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I was, right next to her. You know? it's that's what I mean by like putting people around you, your children. Because life happens.
Yeah.
But who are you putting around your children?
Omanyi kuva we twatandise omuntu akuwulira ayinza olowooza Oluganda tolumanyi nazze nako okunywa kange kanene nga kalujjuzaamu Oluzungu naye
no
wenjogerera olwange lulabika luweddemu.
Oluganda ndumanyi nnyo. Ekibi kyaffe nti okumanya Uganda, we make this mistake where even our kids, we discourage them from learning Luganda in Uganda.
In Uganda.
Yeah. And like I remember having this talk with my brothers, and I'm like, imagine if we chose Luganda as our main language, or whatever language we want to choose, right? Non-political reasonings. And we just have that one language
that we can
all speak, right? And then English can be our secondary language. honestly, it gets to a point where I don't even care what language. I just want an identity for us. But back to what you were saying, in Uganda, we the reason why I caught up on English really quick is because, first of all, Ugandans, we're already smart, right? But we already speak English versus how in Chelsea I had those friends of mine. The English was a struggle, but because I've been around so many other Ugandans who struggle with English, I could understand them better. You know, and those my international friends, and that's how I think that's how I would bond it even better, because at least I wasn't making fun of their accent.
Right.
Whereas me, on the other hand, even though I would speak English well, kids also still made fun of my, because I had an accent when I was here.
Yeah.
Now, the day I actually felt disappointed in myself was when I was talking to someone. This was like maybe because I lost my accent pretty quick. So maybe my first year of college or second year of college. I'm talking to someone, and the guy says, I just out of conversation, I'm like, oh yeah, so in Africa, I'm Ugandan, so in Uganda we do this. And he's like, wait, you're African? How come you don't have an accent? It hurt my soul because I felt like I lost my identity. And I started pretending that I have an accent. Because you,
how would you even do that?
I failed miserably, but but that's what I mean by like these having cultural norms, right? I have plenty of white friends. Every time I ask them, where are you from? Well, part Sicilian in Italy, part Irish, part this, part that. So many things are mixed in, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Then they ask you.
And before they even ask me, I'm like, okay. What part of Italy? Do you have any family in Italy? No. Oh, do you have any family in Germany since you're part German? No. Do you have any family in Ireland? No, just my mom and dad there. They
visit.
They don't even have family there.
Oh, okay.
Like, they're so cut off from generation after generation that I don't ever want to be cut off from Uganda. Imagine asking me where I'm from and I don't know that I'm from Kanyanya. I feel like America is my home because I've grown up here. Most of my life has been here, but I really enjoy Uganda to the max. Like, I enjoy being Ugandan. And when you're a kid coming here in America, you don't want to be Ugandan, eh? You want to be cool, but
you denounce Uganda the first
right?
chance you get.
The first step you get, you stand up. Having to know your background is key, because so many people here in America do not know not just where they're from, where their parents are from. They just know mom, dad. And even if mom is there, they don't know if dad is there,
I meet so many Black Americans, and when they ask me where I come from, because them being Black Americans, and I have an accent, and they probably think I'm from Haiti. But when I tell them I'm not gonna tell them I'm from Uganda, because then that would be like, where is Uganda? Now I tell them I'm from Africa. Straight, like, you're from Africa? I'm also African. I'm like, okay.
Not the same, bro. Okay.
And then I'm like, I'm sure you've experienced
oh my
this.
God,
and then I'm like, which part of Africa? So they're like, man, our great parents came from, I think is this place in Senegal. I think it's in Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. You know Ivory Coast? And then they're like, I know Ivory Coast. Like, yeah, so like ships were coming from there. There's this tiny island I saw on a documentary. And there's like, okay, like, so you've not been there.
Exactly.
No, I want to visit. I want to visit my homeland.
Oh, my homeland.
Yeah, homeland. It's like, okay. Do you know the food they eat? Like, have you tried their food?
Nothing.
Like, no, man, I want to do that. Like, do you know there are communities here, from Ivory
Ivory Coast.
Coast, from Senegal. They have that food here. Have
Mm,
you tried out?
mm,
Like, have you done anything to learn their culture? Have you done anything that shows that, okay, I've taken one tiny step?
And you know the crazy part? White people here have looked into our culture. They have tried our foods.
Yes.
Why is it that African Americans who are technically from Africa?
What is it that you would want parents to know, especially those that have just brought their kids from Uganda?
Mm. Now, I would say educate yourself. I'm not talking about go get a PhD,
Mhm.
right? I'm saying like educate yourself in the cultural norms. In Uganda, we have different cultural norms, and that's fine. Here, they have their own version of their culture. It's not a set culture, but they have their own rules, and that's what I say: educate yourself on those rules, because your child is educating themselves as they grow up, not about Uganda, but about America,
Right.
right? So if you can educate yourself and be on the same level or above as the kid, then you can easily direct them better, right? Educate yourself on sports, educate yourself on different dialects of languages, educate yourself on what you can say and what you cannot say, you know? And Uganda, it's easy in Uganda because we're so many. We're so everybody is everybody can communicate in their own versions, right? Here, you don't have that. So what I would say is if a parent just arrived, go to a community. Start off with the community, the Ugandan community, whether it's church, mosque, I don't care, whatever faith you have. Start off there, right? Because at least your own peers will tell you, you might look out for this, look out for that, look out for that. Because with my own mom, she told us what to look out for. She didn't tell us how it's going to be like because she has never experienced it, right? But she told us what to look out for. And throughout, like I said, when when we got to Chelsea, I remember I was walking home one day, like late at night, and some guy was like, "Hey kid, you want to hit one like a bud or weed,
Join.
a joint?" And I remember looking at him because he was in kind of like in a little far away, and I was like, holding my school bag, and I go walk faster. They started laughing out loud because they were like, "Oh, this kid doesn't even want to try." Ah, ha, 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 ha. My mom might not have told me, "Hey, over there are people who are gonna ask you to smoke joints." Not necessarily, but at least she told us, "Listen, there's areas where bad things happen. Try to avoid them."
Right.
Right? And she did not get that information from Uganda. She came here, she got into communities, and they taught her those things. They taught her how things work around here. They taught her about how things work in schools. She didn't fully grasp all of it, but she learned with us. If you can learn before your kid gets to the schools and all those levels, it will be a much smoother ride. I promise it will be a much smoother ride, because if their kid is learning about America and you're just home watching book at their TV, they can get away with so much bad. They can do so much good, but even worse, you might not be able to guide them into a new world. Because here we're just disciplining, blah blah blah. But if you know how it works, you'll be able to guide the children better.
Right.
So that's my 2 cents on it. I think if we can educate ourselves, I promise you this. And the kids are smart. You give a kid a laptop, and in 2 seconds he'll be on the press conference of Biden, just watching Biden on the news, and you're like, "How? I thought you were watching, what is it, Paw Patrol?" Like, you know, they're smart. So you just have to know, you have to be know or understand what area they are in, their expertise. If there's after school programs, what after school programs can you put them through? What after school programs are they actually benefiting from? Because if I didn't like football and my mom was like, "You have to play football," what's the benefit of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And after school programs are year round, so there's no excuse of they're doing nothing. And they could make friends during after school. They could learn about life. When you're in class, the teacher is over there just writing. You get bored, blah blah blah. But when you're interacting with other kids, that's when you learn more about what America is. That's my 2 cents. Just educate yourself, and it will be better.
Thank you for the time that you have spared to come and give us all this information. I really appreciate, and I'm sure my audience will appreciate too. If you're still with us up to this far, I want to appreciate you too. Chokola, Sichtono. If you need more information about what we've been talking about, please check in the description. Other than that, if you still want to hang around, I'm gonna add a video right here. Other than that, stay safe out there.